Good morning, friends. I'm Madan Singh, and I'm going to talk to you something about the United States Air Force and the Lockheed Aircraft Company. There have been two incidents which have really caught the imagination of the world, and that concerns the Lockheed Company, which manufactures two of the most formidable planes in the world. The first is the B-2 stealth bomber, and the second is the F-35 interceptor, which is supposed to be a fifth generation fighter. Now, unfortunately, both these planes are in the news for the wrong reasons. Firstly, I will tell you that the stealth bomber, that is the B-2, was costing over $2 to $3 billion each. I really don't know the exact price, but that is the price range of this plane. And I understand that the United States Air Force wants to buy 75 of these planes, and finally they ended up by only 21. And now I think they have 19 operational, and they are based in Minnesota in central United States. There's a team of 80 pilots who look after these planes. They're trained to fly them, and they are planes which have an endurance of almost 36 to 40 hours. They can fly non-stop, carrying the biggest possible bombs you can think of, including the bunker buster bombs, and they have a technology which is called the stealth technology. That is, they cannot be detected by radar and other means. That means they fly incognito. So, gentlemen, that is one of these planes which is in the news. And the Americans, as you know, decided that Donald Trump decided that the time had come to use these planes to bomb the nuclear storage sites of Iran, which was in the mountains of eastern Iran. Nuclear storage means they were storing the nuclear processed fuel there, the uranium-238, which is used to make the atom bombs. And Trump had decided to destroy them so that Iran would not be able to make any further progress in the manufacture of the atomic bomb. So two sets of bombers took off. One flew across the Atlantic and one flew across the Pacific. And as per reports, the bombing was very successful, and all the planes returned to base except one from the Pacific Ocean side, which had to make a forced landing in Hawaii. The plane has been photographed standing at the Air Force base in Hawaii, and it's not a very good sight. Obviously, the plane could not reach its destination, that is central United States, where it was housed, and it had to make an emergency landing in Hawaii. Now, this is a matter of concern as far as the Americans are concerned, and definitely the world is watching very closely. But here is a fighter, rather a bomber, a strategic bomber, which is the pride of the US Air Force and the United States, getting grounded. That means it becomes aircraft on ground, AOG, and unable to fly. It's a big blow, and the Americans are just very silent about it. They haven't said anything at all what this has happened. But the world has reached its conclusion that there's a fly in the ointment, and the American bombing fleet is not all that invincible. And if you look at it from the military angle, if even one plane which costs about $2 billion has been lost and is not able to fly, then the cost effectiveness of the bombing of Iran becomes zero. In the sense, that much it goes down. And we are not even certain that the entire Iranian processed fuel was in those bunkers. If possible, they could have transported and kept it some other place also. So, gentlemen, this is the first problem. And the second is the F-35, which is touted as the stealth fighter, the one with the latest technology, that the fifth generation fighter, that is the fly-by-wire technology. And this plane was part of the complement of the aircraft carrier Prince of Wales, which was floating around in the South Indian Ocean in support of the American operations against Iran. The plane took off, and its purpose was basically to test the Indian defenses in the southern states and to see how efficient their fighter is. The plane entered airspace and was detected, I understand, on Indian radar. So the fact that it couldn't be detected is a bit of a bluff, or whatever you can call it. Or maybe it's flying very low, it was had its ECMs off, we don't know. But then some strange things began to happen, and the plane's hydraulic systems got jammed, and the captain of the aircraft, informed the commander-in-chief of the flotilla of the Prince of Wales that he couldn't get back to the aircraft carrier. What should he do? Otherwise, if he comes back, he may have to ditch the aircraft into the sea. So a decision was taken that since you are close to the international airport in Kerala, that is Thiruvananthapuram, you please ask for an emergency landing. The pilot contacted the air traffic control and made an emergency landing in Thiruvananthapuram, and it's been there for the last almost 2 weeks. Now this is a bit of a surprise, and here's a plane which is supposed to go in for operational missions, and then without going in an operational mission, it goes tanks and lands and not able to fly. Now the Americans who manufactured the plane and the British were really worried. So teams of engineers were sent across from England, from the Royal Air Force bases, to see if they could rectify the mistake of this plane. But they couldn't do it. And there's a bit of a surprise. And finally the aircraft had to be towed to an Air India hangar and kept there. This was after it was kept out in the open for 12 days, mainly because the British were a little worried that India was not a NATO power and they might hand over the secrets of this plane to the Russians. Of course, India doesn't do such nefarious activities, but the fact remains that the British were worried. Teams of engineers came from Lockheed, they tried to get the plane going, make airborne and go away, but they couldn't do it. And the plane continues. Most likely it's still there and will remain for some time unless the British or the French, and the American engineers can think of dismantling the machine and taking it away by parts to England. It's a big blow to American prestige that one of the top planes which they have touted in the world and have even offered it to India has come a cropper. Now, both the B-2, which landed in Hawaii and unable to complete its mission, and the F-35, which also entered Indian space and couldn't complete its mission and had to land at the Kerala airport, is a matter of great surprise to me. Not only to me, who's been an aviation expert, but also to a lot of other people. And it just will show that there's something wrong with the American aviation industry. That means they haven't produced something called perfection. And I think it's a very, very grave lapse, and the Americans must be thinking what the hell's gone wrong. Well, gentlemen, I won't add anything more further, except that these two planes, which are supposed to be the best in the world, have shown that they have chinks in their armor. And the Russians and the Chinese would be looking at this with glee to find out what is that chink so they can keep their tabs on such aircraft in time to come. And the Americans would be really worried, because this is a cause of worry that two of their foremost war horses, the people with the planes which are going to battle against the enemy and touted to be the best they are, have become a cropper. Well, I have no further comment to make on this issue. I hope you like this video. Please share it with your friends, and I look forward to more interaction with you. And I'll say goodbye, God bless, and Jai Hind.